Same day, same group, 2 goal machines, 2 braces. In the afternoon, Kylian Mbappé scored twice against Senegal and became France's all-time leading scorer, and that's already his 3rd World Cup. Then in the evening, 25-year-old Erling Haaland finally walked onto a World Cup pitch for the very first time and marked his debut with a brace, sinking Iraq for 1. Group I is now the group of the 2 goal machines, and on June 26 they meet head-on. Let's get into the night. After the whistle, the reaction landed on one word: finally. For all his goals, Erling Haaland had never once played a major tournament. Think about that. For years he's been near the top of every best striker live debate, and yet, while Mbappé was winning a World Cup and Messi was lifting one, Haaland was watching from home. Norway simply hadn't qualified. Their last World Cup was 1998, before Haaland was even born. He missed 2022, he'd never been to a Euros, and the questions followed him. One of the planet's deadliest finishers, with no major stage to show for it. 28 years after Norway's last appearance, that finally changed, and he marked his first ever World Cup match with not 1 goal, but 2. ESPN framed it as Haaland finally living the World Cup dream. And this is no fluke side. Norway won all 8 qualifiers, scored 37 goals, and beat Italy home and away to get here. At the tip of all that firepower stands Haaland. Per Sky Sports, those were his 51st and 52nd international goals, in just 56 caps. He's Norway's all-time top scorer, with Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard pulling the strings behind him. The power we'd only ever seen at club level, we finally got to see it at a World Cup. One of the best strikers on earth broke a 28-year drought to get here. And is there a better way to arrive than a brace on debut? The scoreline says 4-1, but the game had texture. Iraq, back at a World Cup after 40 years away, were anything but a pushover. When Haaland opened the scoring on 28 minutes, Iraq's Aymen Hussein answered barely 10 minutes later with a superb header. Per reports, it was only Iraq's 2nd ever World Cup goal, and their first in 40 years. But the favourites won the margins. For minutes after the equaliser, Iraq's goalkeeper hesitated over a back pass, Haaland pounced, and tapped it in. From there, Norway managed the game like a side that had been here before, even though, in truth, none of them had. They held around 60% of the ball, outshot Iraq, and on the expected goals count it wasn't close, roughly 2.6 to 0.8. Iraq kept swinging, Hussein nodded another header off target, and Hussein Ali lifted a good chance onto the roof of the net, but the clear-cut moments dried up. In the second half, Leo Østigård headed home an Odegaard corner, and a 4th followed deep in stoppage time to make it 4-1. There was a story off the pitch, too. Sky Sports reported that Hussein, the man who scored that equaliser, was held and questioned by authorities for around 7 hours when he entered the United States earlier this month. The entry and visa problems that have shadowed this whole tournament had reached the scorer himself. On their first World Cup stage in 40 years, Iraq landed a real blow. But the biggest stage doesn't forgive the smallest mistakes. And the real talking point of the night was lining these two up together, Mbappé and Haaland. Same day, same group, both with a brace, but their stories sit at opposite ends. For Mbappé, this is a 3rd World Cup, champion in 2018, runner-up in 2022, now France's all-time leading scorer, and on 14 career World Cup goals his chasing closes record of 16. Remember, it was Mbappé who lost the 2022 final to Messi, and who has now climbed above Messi on that all-time list. He's a man at his peak, running at history. Haaland is the mirror image. This is his first ever major tournament, a goal machine who, at 25, had never set foot on a stage this big and has only just arrived. One is writing the final chapters at the summit, the other has just opened to page 1. The styles diverge as much as the stories. Mbappé is acceleration and angles, a player who scores from 25 yards in stoppage time, as he did against Senegal. Haaland is the penalty box predator. Both his goals against Iraq came from inside 6 yards. The tap-in and the pounce, the striker's striker. At club level, the numbers are absurd for both. This season, across Europe's top 5 leagues, Mbappé was the joint top scorer alongside Harry Kane, with Haaland close behind. And France boss Didier Deschamps, on their upcoming duel, called it a great contest, both, he said, contenders to finish as top scorer. One is looking at the end of the record books, the other is looking at the start of his stage, and very soon, they'll stand on the same grass. So, the table, after one round, Group I has its 2 heavyweights side by side. Norway and France both on 3 points, but Norway's 4-1 demolition of Iraq gives them a goal difference of +3, edging France, who beat Senegal 3-1, into second. Senegal and Iraq both sit on 0, already on the back foot. Here's how it unfolds from here. On June 22nd, Iraq face France, effectively a survival game. Lose, and a 40-year wait could be over after just 2 matches. On June 23rd, Norway take on Senegal, the African champions, who suddenly need a result to keep pace. And then on June 26th, the final round of Group I brings France against Norway, Mbappé versus Haaland, with top spot on the line. One thing to remember, though, this is a 48-team World Cup, so the 8 best third-place teams across the 12 groups also reach the last 32. For Senegal and Iraq, one defeat is not the end. A single win could still be enough. The 2 goal machines have announced themselves in the same group. Now everyone's waiting for one date, June 26th. So here's where it lands. Norway beat Iraq 4-1, and with Holland celebrating a 28-year wait with a brace on debut, they sit top of Group I. France, with Mbappé, took their 3 points the same day, and the group has booked the tournament's juiciest fixture, a collision of 2 goal machines, for June 26th. And a forecast to close. France versus Norway on June 26th becomes the best group stage game of this World Cup. Both Mbappé and Haaland score in it, and top spot comes down to goal difference. And Iraq and Senegal aren't finished after one game. In a 48-team field, the third-place wildcard race stays alive to the end. One man is chasing the record books, the other is savouring his first stage. On June 26th, 2 eras meet on the same grass.